In this video we're checking out this. It's the AOC U2879VF 4K monitor. Just rolls off the tongue. This is basically an entry-level budget 4K monitor. So let's see if it's any good. Okay, so apologies during this video for any kind of clunkiness. This is the first video I'm trying to do after I've had my hand operation. So I've got only very little movement and a bit of pain, so just please bear with me. So I recently decided to get a PlayStation 4 Pro over here in the cave, and I'm kind of using that to do some streaming on Twitch, etc. There's a link in the bottom if you want to follow and kind of check out some of those Twitch streams. But I decided that I'd get a 4K monitor to go with that PlayStation Pro for a couple of reasons. First of all, I have a 24-inch gaming monitor that has kind of been not working very well for a little while, but intermittent. Also has a bug trapped in the middle of the screen, which is quite off-putting. And also, personally, when I'm trying to game, there's a time and a place where I want something on a big screen. So when I use the 120-inch projection screen, but majority of the time, especially for first-person shooters and stuff, it's good to be actually closer to what's going on, which is why I decided to pick up one of these monitors. So originally, I decided to get a monitor, but my original plan was to get a 4K TV, because basically for the same money you get something much bigger, but I still need to use this as a monitor, so it's good that this one particularly has lots of various inputs on the back. So let me get it out of the box and kind of let's talk about kind of the connections you have. Then I will get it connected up and just show you a little bit of kind of gameplay and what things look like. Okay, this is it. I managed to get it all unboxed. This is the AOC U2879VF 4K monitor. So it took me a little bit of a while to kind of get it all set up because I was just doing it with one hand, and this base kind of screws into the bottom. But I'll talk you through what's kind of comes with it in the bag. Obviously you've got the monitor and the stand, then you get a couple of plugs. So there's like a European plug there. Here in the UK we have the 3-pin plug. It's got the what I call the Mickey Mouse end on, as opposed to a kettle lead. Then we have a VGA cable, HDMI cable, a display port cable, the power brick that obviously plugs into the 3-pin or 2-pin connector, along with AOC monitor driver CD and a little manual and a bit of paperwork, and the little sticker that talks about the energy rating. So this is a B energy rated monitor, so not as energy efficient I would like, but not the end of the world. So I think the only thing that I guess would have been nice, if it was possible, would have been to have a DVI cable as well. Then we'd have kind of the full set. But this is again a budget 4K monitor that we're talking about, so kind of all. So let's pop the protective cover off, have a little look on the outside. So this is a TN panel, so it's not going to be fantastic at kind of odd viewing angles, but most of the time with a monitor like this you're going to be looking at it face on anyway. I'll turn it around shortly, but there's not too much availability in the way of adjustment. So that's as far as it tilts backwards, and that's as far as it tilts forward. So really not a lot of tilt at all. And obviously if you want to move it left or right, you're just going to move the base. It's got kind of a glossy kind of surround. This is a plastic aluminium looking, brushed aluminium cover, then it's got like a matte finish, which we will look at in a moment. So I bought this monitor as mentioned because I wanted to pair it with the PlayStation Pro that I've got over here in the cave, but I talked to you a little bit about the specifications, and then we're kind of get things plugged in and set up and see kind of how well it works. So I'll put a link in the description. You can pick this one up today. So I'm filming this in late June 2019. Cost you around somewhere around £256, which I think is pretty good for a monitor of this spec. So as mentioned, 4K UHD ultra high definition, 3840 by 2160 is the screen resolution. So that's giving you around 157 pixels per inch. Really good for gaming. So 1 millisecond response. 1 millisecond response and 60 hertz refresh rate. So not 100 or 120 or maybe some of the more expensive monitors, but still 60 hertz is pretty damn good. In terms of connectors on the back, which we'll look at in a moment, it's got one HDMI, which is version 2, so that's good. And we have a display port, DVI and VGA, so it's going to work with older graphics cards as well. So I'm going to connect this up to the box I do my gaming on and VR, as well as have a work laptop I'm going to try and connect up to as well. So it'll be interesting to see how quite a low performance machine, which is a Lenovo Mix kind of tablet thing, terrible piece of equipment, see how well that can drive this. It would be interesting. It's not very powerful. Also has AMD's FreeSync technology, so that's obviously helps with gaming if the right drivers in the game is using everything. Then a couple of other features I think are really nice to have, obviously not essential. If you have a largest monitor like this, maybe your only monitor, for example, so you have a couple of options. You have picture by picture, which so that basically means that obviously of the 4 inputs that you can have one input on one side and one input on the other, and also have picture in picture as well. So obviously a main, one of the main inputs, current majority of the screen, and then just a small window with the picture in picture. So I think this is great so far. So we haven't plugged it in to see what it looks like, but I think for the money, even just a standard, as a standard monitor goes, I think this is pretty damn good. So what I'll do is I'll get this plugged in. So what we'll do is we have it plugged in by, what should we do? HDMI. We will plug it into HDMI for the PlayStation. We will plug it into DVI for the Lenovo Mix, and VGA off of my gaming machine, because the HDMI port is currently taken up for the Vive. Maybe we might use the display port, but we shall see. So I'll get things set up over there and take you over and see what it looks like. Okay, so this probably isn't the best angle, but I figured I can do some overlays which will hopefully kind of make things a bit more obvious. So I have the monitor all plugged in now. One of the things I didn't mention before is it doesn't have speakers built into it. There is a headphone jack at the back, so you could obviously plug in some headphones or some external speakers if you want to get like the HDMI pass-through or something. I prefer to game with my headphones on anyway. I've got this currently connected up right now to the PlayStation 4, so you can see it's got current resolution of 3840 by 2160. Run at 60 hertz. Color format is RGB, and obviously I'm connected over HDMI, and so it's HD CP 2.2. So no HDR support or anything on here, but we'll just quickly load up again and kind of see how things look in 4K. So whilst that's loading, a couple of things to be aware of. So there's quite a large gap underneath the stand. So my previous monitor only had like an inch, so this is quite a way off the desk, which I think that helps a little bit in terms of the fact that the angle options on this monitor aren't fantastic. The buttons underneath, there are actual proper tactile buttons. They're quite a way back actually on the device, so they're not, you kind of initially think they're going to be touch sensitive and you just kind of push directly under, but it's not. You have to kind of put your finger quite a way towards the back, and you can feel the kind of little dimples that you kind of mess with to get them to turn on and off. So let's start Red Dead Redemption 2 off. Already I think this game looks pretty good. I'm not sure actually if this one, let's see, I've got the case here. I don't know if it is in 4K on the app, but no, so this is only 1080p, so it's upscaled to 4K, so still looks pretty good. We'll see what the gameplay is like once it's fully loaded. But it is a nice size. It actually fits on my desk quite well. You can see I've got my webcams on the top here. I use one for video conferencing and the other one when I'm streaming. But let's see if we can look at some of the other buttons here. So first on the right is the power on off button. If we move in a little bit, that gives us the menu screens. Very nice. So it's kind of semi-transparent. It's a little bit pixely actually in terms of kind of how things look. I haven't messed at all yet with the configuration options, but have a little scroll through. So they've got luminous settings. Where's that gone? Where do we just jump through? Okay, so we've got luminous settings, color setup, so the RGB and everything, picture boost. I'm quite sure what those settings do. Frame size, etc. So I guess we can configure if you've got black borders and stuff on the screen. It doesn't stay up very long, does it? On-screen display, so we can change the timeout to more than 10 seconds and the position of it. So we can change whether 3 syncs on and off, and also whereabouts on the screen the menu is displayed. I don't see why you'd want it anywhere other than the bottom really, but nice to have that option. So let's see, we've got picture-in-picture settings. So let's try it. So if we turn that on, oh, we've moved too far. How do we get in? No. Right, okay. So try and look at the options here. So it's not letting me select another source actually. Just, if I scroll down. Oh, okay. So we've got picture in picture or picture by picture. So let's try picture in picture. Okay, so now we have the PlayStation Pro running on the main screen, and then we have my gaming computer up there in the top right. That's pretty cool. Let's try it now in the picture by picture settings. And into that. That's pretty nice. So then we have the PlayStation 4 Pro on the left hand side here, and on the right hand side my gaming PC. So we can configure whether we want to have, is the HDMI being the main source or something else in the sub source, and kind of configure the sizes and turn audio on and off and everything and swap things around. So that's pretty good. Let's go back to not having picture in picture turned on. Good stuff. And let's just see what else we have in the menu screens. Okay, what's in the extra section? So auto input select, image ratio, etc, etc. Okay, let's come out of that menu screen. Okay, one thing I'm not sure is how do you easily change source. Okay, so we can change the volume settings up and down there with the up and down arrows, and the far left hand button I think is going to be the button, yeah, so we can change from HDMI, DVI, D-sub, which is obviously VGA, or DisplayPort. So I think it looks really good. Let's have a quick move around, see how the game looks. It's a bit kind of washed out with the light there, so I definitely want to kind of mess around with the display settings a little bit. Once I've got something that I like, I'll put that down in the description in case that helps. Can't really play very well because It just hurts to use my left hand. But if I just move it around a little bit with my right hand, I think that looks really good. Really nice clean picture. I'm happy with that. So I'll flick over to the PC now and see how that looks. Okay, so connected into the PC. I'm not actually sure if I can display things at 4K because I'm using VGA. I may have to switch to DisplayPort to kind of set that up. But it's working okay. It's all kind of out of sync though. So I have got a black border here and nothing on this other side. So I'm not sure if maybe that's something we can fix in the menu items. Let's have a little look. Okay, so we should be able to mess around with it. I'll have a little look at that after, and also see how the computer, that Lenovo Mix drives things as well. So again, just a little demonstration of kind of what the monitor looks like and in general how it performs. Oh, it's trying to do some auto adjustment on its own, but it's done it. Okay, that's interesting. So now I have equal borders all the way around, which is fantastic. I guess the other thing I just realised that I don't know how easy it is for me to do it, but I could probably do it installing the drivers for this monitor onto the machine. Obviously they come on CD. I don't have a CD drive for this machine, so let's see if we can find anything. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this monitor. I guess there's nothing really right now that I don't like. I'm not really a massive fan of gloss surrounds, but all my monitors have that, but it seems to work really well. I'm going to tweak the settings a bit more, but I think for a budget 4K display, it's pretty damn good. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Not a great video, probably, but hopefully just showing you a little bit about whether this monitor is any good in terms of a budget monitor. I think so far it seems really good. Obviously keep using it for a while, so feel free to leave comments or asking questions about how I get on with it. This is the old Iliama 24-inch screen that I'll be now getting rid of because it's again not working too good, and I've got that little fly stuck in the display panel somewhere. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Hopefully it's kind of helpful. I still think this is a great budget 4K monitor, and I'm hoping it will give me lots of joy and fun for my upcoming gaming antics. Remember, please check me out on Twitch if you're interested in gaming and see some live streams. But that's it. I'm calling it a day. Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.